Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are diving into the icy depths of the polar vortex, a topic that's as fascinating as it is chilling. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is a polar vortex? Well, imagine a large region of cold rotating air that encircles Earth's polar regions. It's like an icy whirlpool in the sky that can have significant impacts on our weather, causing everything from sudden stratospheric warming events to outbreaks of cold Arctic air. Intriguing, isn't it? Now, if you're as excited as we are about this journey, make sure to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. There's a lot more to discover about the polar vortex, from its history to its current state, and some intriguing predictions about its future. Stay tuned as we journey from the discovery of the polar vortex to its current state and why scientists are particularly concerned about it in 2024. So grab a warm drink and let's plunge into this polar adventure. The polar vortex was not always a part of our weather vocabulary. So, how did we come to know about it? Well, the story takes us back to the early days of meteorology. In the 19th century, scientists began to notice peculiar weather patterns in the Earth's polar regions. They observed a large region of cold, rotating air that seemed to encircle these areas. This was the first inklings of what we now call the polar vortex. However, the actual term polar vortex wasn't coined until the mid-20th century. The advancements in technology during this time, particularly the advent of weather satellites, allowed scientists to observe Earth's weather systems from a global perspective. This bird's-eye view revealed the extent and behavior of this rotating air mass, confirming that it was a constant feature of our planet's climate system. The polar vortex, as we now understand it, is not a single entity, but rather consists of two types: the stratospheric polar vortex, which forms in the winter and breaks down in the spring, and the tropospheric polar vortex that exists all year round, but is strongest in the winter. This understanding came about through continuous observations and advancements in atmospheric science. In the southern hemisphere, scientists noticed that ozone depletion occurred within the polar vortex, adding another layer of complexity to this phenomenon. The strength and position of the polar vortex can also be influenced by external factors like volcanic eruptions and the Arctic Oscillation, a pattern of atmospheric pressure over the North Pole and surrounding regions. Through these observations and studies, we've come to understand the polar vortex as a key player in our global weather system. When it weakens, it can cause outbreaks of cold Arctic air and extreme weather events, a feature that's earned it nicknames like polar blast or polar plunge in Australia. And that's how the polar vortex was discovered, a crucial piece in our understanding of Earth's complex weather systems. With its discovery, the polar vortex found a place in the annals of weather history. Let's delve into that history now. The polar vortex, this fascinating phenomenon, has been shaping weather patterns for centuries, long before humans had the tools to observe it. It wasn't until the mid-20th century, however, that scientists began to study it more closely. This large region of cold, rotating air that encircles Earth's polar regions became a subject of interest for its significant impacts on weather, including sudden stratospheric warming events. In the years that followed, researchers discovered two types of polar vortices: the stratospheric polar vortex and the tropospheric polar vortex. The stratospheric polar vortex, which forms in the winter and breaks down in the spring, drew attention for its role in ozone depletion, particularly in the southern hemisphere. Meanwhile, the tropospheric polar vortex, existing all year round but strongest in winter, was found to influence the outbreaks of cold Arctic air and extreme weather events. When the polar vortex weakens, it can cause what is often referred to as a polar blast or polar plunge, sending shivers down the spines of those in its path. Over time, scientists have also found that the strength and position of the polar vortex can be influenced by factors such as volcanic eruptions and the Arctic Oscillation. These discoveries have helped meteorologists better predict weather patterns and prepare for potential extreme weather events. The polar vortex has also been a key player in some significant historical events. For instance, in 2023, a weakened polar vortex was a factor in the extreme weather events that put pressure on the power grids in the United States, leading to the risk of blackouts for millions of people. In recent years, the polar vortex has been under close scrutiny due to the potential impacts of climate change. As our planet warms, the behavior of the polar vortex could change, leading to more frequent or severe cold outbreaks in certain regions. This is a primary concern for scientists as we approach the year 2024. From its discovery to present day, the polar vortex has played a significant role in shaping our weather. Fast forward to the present day, the polar vortex continues to stir up weather patterns and scientific interest. This massive rotating air system, encircling Earth's polar regions, plays an integral role in shaping climates across the globe. It persists all year but is most potent in winter, and its strength and position can be swayed by various factors, including volcanic eruptions and the Arctic Oscillation. Recently, the polar vortex has been making headlines with its influence on extreme weather events. When it weakens, it can cause outbreaks of chilly Arctic air, resulting in what is commonly referred to as a polar blast or polar plunge. These outbreaks have been linked to severe winter storms and freezing temperatures, impacting millions of people worldwide. It's not all about the cold, though. The vortex also contributes to sudden stratospheric warming events, which can lead to unusual weather patterns. The research into the polar vortex is ongoing, with scientists continually unraveling its complexities. One area of focus is the vortex's role in ozone depletion, particularly in the southern hemisphere. This depletion is a significant concern as it lets more harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun reach the Earth's surface. The upcoming year of 2024 has become a point of interest for scientists studying the polar vortex. There's an anticipation of potential changes in the vortex's behavior due to ongoing climate change. The fear is that these changes could lead to more frequent and severe weather events, including cold snaps and heat waves. As we look ahead, the polar vortex continues to be a key player in our weather and climate. Scientists are keeping a close eye on it, especially as we approach 2024. So, we've journeyed from the discovery of the polar vortex to its current state. Let's recap what we've learned. The polar vortex, a massive swirl of frigid air surrounding Earth's poles, was first identified in the early 20th century. Its existence, strength, and position have been influenced by numerous factors, from volcanic eruptions to the Arctic Oscillation. Over time, we've come to understand its impacts on our weather, from cold Arctic air outbreaks to extreme weather events. The vortex isn't just a winter phenomenon. A version of it exists throughout the year, but it's most potent during the coldest months. Fast forward to the present day, and the polar vortex is a hot topic for scientists. With unusual patterns predicted for 2024, there's concern about the potential for significant weather disruptions and the implications for our climate. Thank you for joining us on this icy adventure into the polar vortex. We hope you found it as fascinating as we did. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious.